Well, welcome again to another episode of Down to Earth but Heavenly Minded. It's my podcast. I'm Irvish. And today I want to talk to you about doing your own eulogy. Yeah, that kind of sounds crazy. How can you do your eulogy if you're not dead yet? Well, if we knew when we were going to die, we could do it the day before or whatever, but we don't know the day that of our departure. But sometimes we feel like, well, our departure is getting close, especially when you get up in age like myself. I'm going to just share a funny story with you before we even go into this. I was still in the workforce. This was like 20 years ago or better. And I had this inner ear infection. And I had an episode when I was at work, and they weren't sure what it was. So they called an ambulance and they hauled me out to the hospital and found out it was only my ear. I wasn't having a stroke or a heart attack or anything like that. And but one of my brothers in the Lord heard that the ambulance had called and that I was taken, and he figured I was on my way out because he started preparing my eulogy. So I was at the chapel the very next week, and he was sharing a message, and he shared what he had prepared for my eulogy. So I got to sit and listen to my own eulogy. It was kind of funny, but at the same time, it was unique because I basically heard what my brother had to say about my life. Uh, so it was kind of unusual. But with that said, I just wanted to share with you that there was a man in the Bible who did his own eulogy. And let me just get it up here. And it's going to be kind of a small print because I'm going to share the whole verse here. Paul wrote this in First or Second Timothy in the last chapter, chapter 4, and he wrote, and this was his life. He knew he was getting close to the end, just like I'm getting close to the end. And I would hope my eulogy is the same as his. For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure has come. I have fought a good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearance. Have you loved the appearance of the Lord? His first appearance and his second coming, are you looking forward to it? Well, if you are, if you are a believer, if you have put your faith and trust in Christ, there's a crown of righteousness for you. And that righteousness is his righteousness, not ours. And actually, we can wear those crowns even today. No, we don't put a crown on our heads, but our crown is something that we display to people. And do we display the righteousness of Christ to the lost world? Well, that's my thought for today when I think about doing our own eulogy. So Paul knew that he had fought a good fight and that he had finished his race. And we all are in a race. And that race is to proclaim the gospel of Christ, the Great Commission. Are we running? Are we even in the race? Well, that's the question we all have to ask ourselves. I can't answer it for you. I can answer it for myself, but not for you. But the Lord, the righteous judge, can you imagine that? The righteous judge. You know, the last podcast I did, I talked about the judge sitting on his throne and having an advocate with the Father, having a good lawyer. Well, the righteous judge will judge righteously. Oh, excuse me. You know what I need? I need more coffee, is what I need. I sometimes don't get enough jet fuel in me. Well, you know, I kid around a lot, but this is a serious thing. So if you had to sit down and listen to your own eulogy or doing your own eulogy, how would you write it? Have you run a good race? Have you finished a fight? You know, when you come to the end of your life, this is it. Everything we do in this life will carry over into eternity. So I'm hoping that you have put your faith and trust in Christ and that you are running that race well and that you will finish well. If you are just dragging your feet, you're never going to finish well. Well, think about your future in eternity, because even when you do your eulogy, even though your life has ended here and now, it goes on in the hereafter. And because we are eternal beings, God has created us in his likeness, and we are going to live forever. Just like that old hymn that the cathedral sang, I'm going to live forever, I'm going to die no never. Jesus died on a tree for me, and I'm going to live forever. Think about that. Well, bye for now.